Oh no, Mr. Bad Guy, don't hurt me. I've got my handy dandy wasp spray. I think, no, I know that survival hacks are going way too far and being put into packs and utilized and thought of as being primary tools. Please, let's get past that. That's what this video is all about. So let's talk about this first item that we've been having fun with, and that is utilizing wasp spray for self-defense versus actual pepper spray. There's several different reasons why. Obviously, this takes up little space in your pocket, your pack. You can buy even larger canisters that dispense more. This takes up way too much space. Next thing is that there was a fantastic study done by several different universities on the use of pepper spray. And pepper spray, the chemicals that are in here make you involuntarily close your eyes. What's in wasp spray does not do that. So this is a better source for self-defense. And last but not least, let's talk about this. Let me read this off the back. Avoid contact with skin, eyes, or clothing. If you do this to somebody, you could, in our litigious society, be sued because you've used this inappropriately. So I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but I think it's worthy of your consideration when, quite frankly, this is a superior product to wasp spray. All right, let's dispense right now with the idea of utilizing tampons as a medical device for bullet wound management. That's stupid, okay? I'm not a medical provider. I'm not an EMT, paramedic, special forces medic, anything along those lines, but I listen to people who are, and they talk about how stupid this is, okay? Now, what you can get is something like combat gauze or other hemostatic gauze or something of that nature. The reason this is superior is because a tampon only holds about 10 milliliters of fluid, and that's all it does. It will stop and hold some fluid. It'll cause other fluid to just back up. What combat gauze does, or hemostatic agent gauze, is that it causes the bleeding to stop because it basically, in essence, cauterizes the wound site, as well as this gauze, which takes up just a little bit more space and is made for the purpose of filling up wounds. Let me emphasize that, is made for that purpose. Will also soak up many more milliliters of fluid than what you'll see with a tampon. All right, since we're on bleeding control, let's talk about tourniquets. There is no better tourniquet than a device that's made to be a tourniquet. This happens to be a soft T wide. This is my favorite and preferred one to go with for a lot of reasons. But here's what happens with some sort of improvised device that you might utilize for a tourniquet. Again, if somebody's getting ready to bleed to death, then improvise. Do it, absolutely, by all means. But I'm encouraging you to start carrying a tourniquet with you on a daily basis. Let's say we create a windlass out of this, and we wrap this cordage around our leg, and we're going to cut off the blood flow to the leg. That's going to do extensive nerve damage to the leg, and it's simply not going to be as effective as a tourniquet is. The reason they're wider is to prevent some of that nerve damage. So one of the things that has come out of Iraq and Afghanistan, the wars there, is the effectiveness of tourniquet use when used properly. So I recommend you get into a course where you can learn trauma medicine like Stop the Bleed, or there's a multitude of different organizations that do that on their own, and learn how to properly use a tourniquet, hemostatic gauze, and stuff of that nature. All right, what we have here is a candle and crayons, and you've seen this making its rounds around social media. The similarities between these two is this: paraffin wax. The wax that is in a candle is typically made of paraffin wax. The wax that makes crayons is paraffin wax. Here's how this works, a candle. So you light the wick, which is usually an absorbent material. That absorbent material heats up the wax that is around it. Once it heats the wax up, it creates a vapor from that wax that then burns, and that's what we see that is the flame. We don't have a wick with this. So utilizing crayons as a candle is marginal at best when you're trying to utilize that for heat or for light or whatever you might use it for. And quite frankly, a small candle like this is cheaper than crayons. This is one of those that just absolutely blows my mind why people, and if you don't think that people are doing this, then welcome to my world. People are actually packing crayons instead of packing candles in their go bags. And it quite frankly frustrates me, and that's why I'm making this video. Got one more for you. All right, so we have dryer lint. Let's talk about dryer lint. If all you're ever drying is clothing that is made of 100% organic material, such as hemp or cotton, then dryer lint's gonna be fantastic. If it has any man-made materials like polyester in it, if it has polypropylene or anything of that nature, nylon, then what you're gonna have is tinder that's gonna melt. That's point number one. Number two is that if this gets wet, then what's gonna happen is it's not gonna work worth a crap. And here's when I say that to people, here's what happens. Well, I put this in paraffin wax and egg cartons, and then I keep that inside of a Ziploc bag or blah, blah, blah. Okay, just buy this and all of that's taken care of. You don't have to do any of that. And the reason I bring this up is, yes, this is the ultimate in self-reliance. You're actually taking something that's normally just discarded and putting it to use. I do like that, and I do like improvisation. But when people start making this and putting it in a go bag, when they can afford this, then it's stupid. I'm sorry, it's just stupid. This burns hotter, it burns in the wind, it burns when it's wet, it burns for several minutes, whereas this only burns a very short period of time. And quite frankly, this is just a superior choice. Now, fast fire is what I utilize. There's other choices out there, but at the very least, get something made for this purpose. It's so much more effective at what you need it to do. Yeah, survival hacks, I like them. You know, I mean, it's great for creativity. I love the idea of adapt, improvise, and overcome. I absolutely love that concept. And I think we should practice that. And I think you should continue to practice utilizing these things for that purpose. However, when you're building your bug out bag and you're building that kit that your life or the lives of those that you care about depend upon, then put the most superior product that you can afford and fit into that pack in that pack. It's a must-have. Your life will depend upon it. I don't want to be depending on dryer lint when fast fire is going to work every time. Come on, join in. Let's learn together.